Well, hello again, and welcome back to part 2 of Persist Until You Succeed, What Running My First 5K Taught Me. So when I was recording this, it was a super long episode. And so I spoke with my podcast engineers and decided to split it up into 2 episodes. So in this episode, you will be hearing the 4th thing that running my first 5K taught me, as well as some exciting wins and a super awesome surprise that I received the day of my race. So check it out and let me know your thoughts. Hi there, I'm Achie, speaker, coach, and entrepreneur. I'm also a wife and mom to the Seans, my brilliant hubby, Sean Sr., and my vivacious toddler, Sean Jr. I am a perpetual student to this thing called life, and boy, has life taught me some lessons. What I absolutely love is helping you to identify and debunk the limiting beliefs that cause you to hide from your awesomeness. It's time to reprogram your thinking. So settle in, get comfy, and let's girl talk. Just you and me. This is the I Am Achie podcast. The 4th thing that running my 5K taught me, and this actually, these lessons I'm going to share with you happened on race day for me. So when I got to the race or to the park where the race is going to be, I had a complete emotional meltdown. The race was at like 6:00 in the morning, and I got there and it's all these people outside, and I mean, it's still fairly dark outside, and people are doing their practice jogging and they're stretching and they're getting warmed up. And some of us were running a 5K, and then the other portion was running a half marathon, which is, I believe, 13.1 miles. I believe that's what it is. So I had a complete emotional meltdown because when you continually give up on yourself, you don't know what it looks like to fully show up for yourself, right? And when I pulled up, it's like I entered this world. If any of you are runners, you know that running is a whole world of its own. It's a whole system, whole machine. But beyond that, I saw all these people showing up for themselves. And I've just never seen anything like it before. And it's like this energetic force field of accomplishment. Like, these people are out here running for personal gain. Like, these people aren't getting paid. Like, they just want to be out here on a Saturday morning and be great. I saw families running. I saw grandparents. Like, I saw so many people, and they were all out there and they were ready, and they were doing it not for accolades or for someone to say, oh my God, you're so amazing. Yes, they give you a medal. Yes, people clap for you. But it's like they were doing it because they wanted to show up for themselves. There were so many solo runners like myself. I was there I did this race by myself. And there were so many solo runners out there, and solo walkers and joggers, like, to do this just because they want to show up for themselves on a random Saturday. Like, that is, I don't know about you guys listening, but that is not the world I come from. Okay. I come from a world where if you are running because you're trying to get away from something or somebody or a dangerous event. Okay. Let's just be honest here. So I don't come from that world. So to see all of these people showing up for themselves for no reason other than personal gain and personal accomplishment, and of course the health benefits of running, and like to just see that, I'm like, what is this world of unicorns that I just entered? Like, who are these people? Like, y'all are all out here like super early, just about to run, just to run. Now, granted, I was doing the same thing, but this was so new to me. Like, what? Like, what? This is what have I been doing with my Saturday mornings my whole life? Like, what is this world of showing up for yourself and honoring your body and the beauty of movement and exercise and fitness? What is this in front of me, And it just hit me so deeply. Like, this has always been available. And I was sharing with my friends. I said, this world and the different places we want to be in and the rooms we want to be in, they are available and ready for us. The only person who's keeping us outside of that is ourselves. It's us. It's not anybody saying you can't come here. There's no room for you at this table. Can't sit here. It's us saying, I can't do it. I don't deserve it. I can't accomplish it. We're the only ones keeping ourselves from doing these things and entering into the places that we want to enter. And that was such a revelation for me when I got there that morning. Like, wow, because, it was a part of me, those limiting beliefs crept back up. Like, no one is going to be there that looks like you. And, they're going to look at you funny. And that, like ridiculous stuff. Like you have on a windbreaker jacket. No one else is going to have that on. They're going to think you're weird. And everyone has run this race before, but you're the first one. You're the only first timer. Just listen, our mind will do some ridiculous things in the name of protecting us. Okay. And I'm like, okay, Achie, cut it out. Like you have to know when to shut it down. Okay. And I had to shut it down. So that is on race day, one of the lessons I got. And then the second lesson I got on race day was not to compare. And I did a whole episode about this. But sometimes we still struggle with the things we teach. So here's the deal. So I had I have still a meticulously chosen playlist that I created on Spotify. If you are interested in that playlist, I will put it in the show notes. I am going to warn you. It is a hip hop playlist and it has explicit lyrics. So if you don't want to listen to explicit lyrics, do not click on the playlist. But the purpose of it is very upbeat, ratchet hip hop music. But the point is to get you hyped, right? Just to get you worked up. Like, yeah, that is the goal of this music. Okay. And I accomplished that goal. So I have been going through this playlist for the past probably month. I had so many songs on it. And then as I would run, I would notice that some of the songs, they were hip hop songs, but they were slower than I would like. So they were slower than I was running the beats per minute. So it would actually slow me down because the tempo was slower than I thought. And I never realized the tempo was that slow. I thought it was fast until I started running. So some music that you think is fast, when you actually start exercising to it, you realize, oh, I need something with more beats per minute. So I was very meticulous about this playlist, and I edited and add music and took music away and added more and removed songs, and I did all the things. So I said that to say I knew, and I put them in a certain order. Usually I like to listen to my playlist in shuffle mode, but this one I'm like, no, it has to be this, like even the words to kind of hype me up and, boost my ego a little bit as I'm running, just to remind me that I can do this, And so I said all that to say the day of the race, there's so much adrenaline. Remember, I'm a solo runner. Every time I told someone I'm doing this race, the first thing they would ask me is, oh, who are you doing it with? Are you doing it with a group, your family, your husband, your friends, your job? Who are you doing this with? I'm like, nope, just me, just doing it by myself. I don't have anybody to, and I'm not sad about that. I wanted it this way. I wanted to do this by myself. This was a personal goal near and dear to me. I did not want to do this with anyone else. But I was a solo runner. So this is my first time having people around me running. The first time, okay? So I had so much adrenaline, and it's like I felt like a squirrel going back and forth in my mind. I'm like, wait, okay, they're running faster. Should I run faster? Okay, I'm going to run faster. Maybe I should run faster. And then, oh, well, they're walking. Should I be walking? Maybe I should be walking for a little bit and then running. Okay, they're not running at all. Maybe, okay, they're jogging a little faster. Okay, maybe, literally, my mind was going bonkers, guys. The first mile, I heard none of my playlist. Do you hear me? I don't know what song was playing for the first mile. I'm like, okay, then I'm self-conscious about things. And it was a mess. So by the second mile, I'm like, okay, you're either going to stop this race and quit, or you're going to get out of your own head, do what you've been practicing for the past 4 or 5 months, or however long I've been training, and get this race done at your pace. not giving a damn about what's going on around you. Turn your music up, get on this side of the road and run, Achie. Like that is what I had to tell myself. And I just had to get out of my head. So by the second mile, I said, okay, I got this. I'm about to slow this train down, slow and steady, and I'm going to get this done. And so I did. I did. And that was a big thing for me. I had two major goals. The first goal was to jog the whole way nonstop, no matter how long it took me. And I did that. And the second goal was to finish the race. And I did that. And to finish this race, it took me 44 minutes and 12 seconds. The first mile I did in 13 minutes and 11 seconds. The second mile was 14 minutes and 44 seconds. And the third mile was 14 minutes and 11 seconds. Again, I am not a fast runner yet. I take it slow and steady, like I said. However, this was a huge improvement for me because when I first started this journey, it took me 16 minutes and 51 seconds to do a mile. So going from 17 minutes to 13 minutes at one point up to 14 minutes, that is an improvement for me. That is an improvement. And so I am proud of that for me being a beginner runner. Now, from this point on, I can focus on performance and time goals. But my first race, the goal was to finish. Like, I don't care if it would have taken me an hour and a half. I don't care. It's taken me 10 years to run this race. It could have taken me 3 hours. I would not have cared, okay? So my second 5K, I actually just signed up for my second 5K, and it's coming up in April, so I am super excited about that. And it's not as much pressure, of course. I've done the first one, and I'm going to just continue training. I kind of know what to do at this point, so it's not as much pressure, but I am really looking forward to it. My goal is to run 5 5Ks before I advance to running a 10K. So 5K is 3.1 miles. And then, of course, the 10K is 6.2 miles. So excited about that. Also, I want to talk about the medal they gave me. So I thought that I was going to get like maybe a little plastic lanyard like type medal shindig, or just to say, oh, you ran, accomplishment, great, here you go. I was not expecting the size and the weight of the medal I got. I mean, it is fabulous and it is heavy. I was at the gym and I was talking to a lady who runs races, and she said, I hate running, but I love getting medals. I love collecting medals. So I run for the medals. And I was like, okay. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not running for medals if I don't like running. But when I got the medal, I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, this is a complete confidence booster. Like, you have a couple of these heavy babies hanging around the house. Like, I did that. So I'm actually looking forward to my second medal. I'm looking very forward to my second medal. So also, oh my gosh, more good news. So 3 of my amazing friends came to surprise me at the finish line of my race. I come off of running 3 miles. I am trying to catch my breath. And I see my husband and my son, and they're, yay, good job, Mom, good job, babe. And then I come across the finish line and they're like, surprise! And I almost lose it. I posted it on my Instagram stories. I'm going to be posting it on my Facebook soon. I'll do a regular post as well. Listen, this is significant. Number one, they completely surprised me. Firstly, okay, I had no idea they were going to do this. Second of all, they flew from 3 different cities. Okay, they're not all in one place. They flew from Atlanta, from Cleveland, and from Chicago to come celebrate me in Florida. My God, guys, I was a mess. Well, I cried so hard. Everybody was like, what's the occasion? Oh my gosh, because here's the deal. I finished the race in 44 minutes and 12 seconds, okay? They had already done awards and everything. So all the people who were going to win special awards won them already. So people were trying to figure out why it was such a big deal when I mosey across the line 44 minutes later. So my husband's telling everybody, oh, those are her friends. They flew in from different cities to surprise her for her first 5K race. And they're like, oh my gosh, you have amazing friends. It was the best. I can't even describe the feeling for them to show up for me. They've been amazing moral support during this time. And of course, accountability. But to physically show up, and I kept looking at them like, this is a random Saturday. Y'all have lives, businesses, families. Like, what are you doing here? I'm not going to cry all over again, but what are y'all doing? Like, what are you doing? And I'm talking to my husband. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, they rented an Airbnb the night before, 3 streets away from me. They had bikes riding around my neighborhood, all under my nose. Listen, they got me. They got me. It was the best thing ever. And they showered me with gifts. We went to breakfast with flowers and gifts. And my friend's husband is an artist. Oh my gosh. And he painted me an original picture. An original picture. I'm going to put a link to his Instagram. He is amazing. So talented. His name is Davey So Art. I'm going to put a link in a link to his Instagram in the show notes. But it was the best day ever. Oh my gosh. Went home. We chilled out for a second after that. Then went home, rested, showered, and then we went to dinner that night. And it was, we ate good, had good drinks, just enjoyed each other. I was already excited to do the 5K, but I was not expecting the grand ending, right? I just could not have asked for much more. It was so perfect. And I know I'm stuttering right now. It's hard for me to describe in words, what I felt, what I'm feeling. I just so loved, so appreciated. And it's because I showed up for myself, it gave them a reason to show up for me, right? It was the best thing ever. And then the last thing started. It's called a metabolic challenge with the gym that I'm a part of. It was a 30-day program of a eating plan where you're cutting out the things that slow down your metabolism. So the breads and the pastas and the sweets, all the stuff we already know, but we don't want to give up. And it's meant to rev up your metabolism. And when you rev up your metabolism and your metabolism starts to go faster, then you're able to have more energy. You're able to lose more weight if that's your goal. And I said, you know what? It's time for a diet cleanup. Let me join this challenge. And the first place winner gets a free month of gym membership. And I'll just say that this gym is not a $44.99 a month gym. Okay. I have a personal trainer every single time I'm working out. And so if you know anything about how much personal trainers cost, then you know that getting a free month in a gym with a trainer every day can be a pretty penny. So second place winner get half a month free. And then the third place winner got something else. So I'm doing this challenge. I'm doing great. And it was a month. And that 4th week, I'm like, okay. My mind just leading up to this race. And because this race has been all consuming for me. If you guys listen to this podcast, you see, I always found a way to mention it because it was always at the top of my mind. So it was all consuming for me. So by that 4th week, and when you're eating a different diet or you're cleaning your diet up, you have to plan accordingly, right? So me planning and trying to figure out what I'm going to eat and eating by a certain time. By that 4th week, I'm like, Lord have mercy. I started to slip. I'm like, oh, okay, I got one more week. How am I going to do this? So make a long story short, I won the metabolic challenge. I lost the most weight out of the people who joined the challenge. And I am so excited about it. I lost 8.3 pounds, I believe, 8-point-something pounds in 30 days. And I was like, what? And okay, in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm going to win. I'm speaking it over myself. I'm going to win this challenge. And then like when I started slacking up and wasn't following it as closely, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to win. The last winner of this challenge lost like 12 pounds. I've heard people who won this challenge lose like 17 pounds. I'm like, I'm 8 pounds down. I'm like, maybe I'll get second place. I don't know. I want to win, but I don't know. So when I got the text, I was on vacation. I got the text that I won. I'm like, what? I won? What? Like, this just doesn't get any better. Like, it doesn't get any better. This is amazing. So I just want to share all the great news with you guys of the things I've been experiencing and the wins that I've recently had. It's a big deal for me. I'm super proud of myself. This just was an amazing experience. And that's even a paradigm shift for me to say that I am proud of myself, because I had this limiting subconscious belief that I shouldn't even be proud of myself, that being proud of yourself is considered boastful, and you should always be humble, and being humble means that you're not proud, because if you're proud, then that means that you have some sort of pride at play, and you should never have pride. So I just had to debunk all of that. Like, no, I am allowed to be proud of myself. I am allowed to feel pride from my accomplishments. I am allowed to do that. I am allowed to win. Like, I'm allowed to. And we have these wins, big or small, and we don't celebrate ourselves. And it's another thing my friends and I hold each other accountable for, celebrating. So I have this whole list. I've been celebrating. I'm doing this. Already done some of it. Got some stuff scheduled to celebrate. And I'm just like, I'm allowed to be proud of myself. I'm allowed to celebrate. I'm allowed to win. I am allowed to. And I've had to tell myself that over and over again. Achie, you're allowed to. You're allowed to. You are allowed to. You are not in trouble with God if you are proud of yourself. And you guys have probably heard me mention that in previous episodes. A lot of my personal conditioning has come from religion. So a lot of the decisions that I've made in my life have come from the thought of, I don't want to be in trouble with God. So I would not do certain things or do certain things because I thought I would be in trouble with God. So now that I know, like, I'm not going to be in trouble with God. Like, God loves me. Every part of me, all my flaws, he completely loves me. He's not a shaming or demeaning or I'm going to come down and strike you down to hell, God. Like, that's no longer my view of who God is in my life. So I'm not going to get in trouble with him. You know what I mean? Like, he wants me, if I feel like I need to be proud of myself, like, how about that could be coming from him? So I'm going to bask in celebrating myself and being proud of myself. And I encourage you guys to do that too with your wins, big or small. And let's be honest, winning is a marvelous motivator, okay? It is an amazing motivator. So let's keep winning, guys. So that's it for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. As always, thank you so much for listening and tuning in each week. If my content is inspiring to you and you wish to support my work, I'll always say yes to a cup of coffee. The link will be in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to stay in touch with me beyond the podcast and social media, my email list is the place to be. Go to www.iamachie.com/let's connect. And that link will be in the show notes as well. Remember that I love you, I see you, and I want you to win too. Bye for now. I know firsthand how challenging this personal development journey can be. It can feel lonely, confusing, overwhelming, and even difficult to know exactly where to start. That is why I created an amazing resource for you. Go to iamachie.com to download a free audio training that discusses the top 2 things you should focus on as you begin or continue your journey to shifting your mindset. Yep, only 2 things. I like to keep it simple and actionable. Again, that's iamachie.com. And also, if you enjoyed today's episode, I have a favor to ask of you. My goal is to get this podcast in front of as many women as possible. The things I discuss are the things I wish someone would have told me when I began this journey. So in order to do that, please take a few seconds to share this episode with a friend and leave a 5-star review. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified when I release new episodes. I love you, I see you, and I'm rooting for you. Bye for now.